Hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on misplacedstraws.com, where music comes to life. My guest today has been a veteran of the metal scene for over 20 years. You probably know him best as the vocalist on the final Crimson Glory record, Astronomica, but he's also spent time in bands like Leatherwolf, Seven Witches, and Leash Law. He's back now with a brand new band and record, both called Chalice of Sin. Please welcome Wade Black. Welcome, Wade.
Hi, thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. So let's start with Chalice of Sin. Out June 18th on Frontiers Records. You've teamed up with the always amazing Alessandro Del Vecchio. But what's the genesis of this band, and how did your relationship with Frontiers and Alessandro come about?
Well, actually, we had a handful of songs. I had met Serafino, and we had started shipping back and forth some songs to him. He absolutely loved the songs. That's when the following meeting happened with Alessandro. And the rest is, a dream come true, even though with the lockdown and the pandemic and everything of that nature, the writing a process with the record was just really smooth. And the songs almost wrote themselves in a way.
And now, did you guys have to do everything virtually because of the pandemic, or have you ever had a chance to get in the same room while recording this?
There's never been any in the same room scenario with that. Things just been Studio One and the magic of the internet.
And now you've been writing and recording for a long time. You've definitely developed your own style. Was it tough to blend sort of your harder edged metal style with Alessandro's more melodic leanings?
No, not at all. I think that, within yourself, with being a singer, I approach things more of a vocalist way of it, the placement, the arrangement, it really doesn't make any difference whether it's prog metal, whether it's metal or whatever it is. I can sing you the most beautiful song you've ever heard in your entire life, and then again, come back with monsters or come back with something else. So no, not at all. It was a challenge to actually try to grow and try to do something different, and instead of having a safety net behind you.
And throughout your career, you've kind of gone between joining established bands like Crimson Glory and Leatherwolf, and also starting your own bands, like Leash Law, now Chalice of Sin. Do you ever have to kind of adjust your style or your approach to a song if you're going into an established band as opposed to starting your own from scratch?
Well, I guess within the big picture of the band's past records and stuff, that they want you to try to stick to that style of singing. Of course, you can emulate stuff of that nature to a certain point, but you'll never be that person. Right. I think that it's extremely important to be yourself, to not really have to try to do that to a certain extent. Yes. But then again, you need to be creative within your own body, within your own pieces of work in order to feel like you're part of the band.
And one thing I really like about the Chalice of Sin record, as well as a lot of your previous work, is sort of that old school metal influence. And personally, for me, I'm a lyric guy. I want to be able to hear them in the production. I want to understand them. And I think over the past few years, a lot of that got lost in metal, and it became the screaming vocal and, how extreme can you get? But for the most part, you've always stayed true to your style. I mean, what is it about that classic metal style that grabs you?
Well, I think as a singer, you want people to understand what you're singing about. You always want to have good, syllables, and the way that you speak and the way that you sing, and just being fluid. It's just the way that you were taught how to sing, just a
Mhm.
more proper way of a presentation to a vocal. I
Yeah.
think it's really important to hear what you're singing about.
And now with records like yours on the Chalice of Sin record, with Todd Latorre's new record, and even with the record James Durbin put out earlier this year, I think we're starting to see a comeback of that old school metal style and just that way of singing that we had in the 80s and early 90s. I mean, do you sort of feel that that's kind of becoming in favor again?
It's funny that you mentioned that. Everything it comes around in a
Mhm.
circle, so once again, they were about the nostalgia and all the bands getting back together with original members and this and that.
Yeah,
I think has a lot to do with it, but I think that once again, metal will never die.
right.
It'll always be here in some sort of fashion or whatever.
Mhm.
We are just super proud that we are one of the bands, of Frontiers, that we carry the flag of metal. It's what we are. It's what we do. It's not a hobby for us. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. And, I think we're really starting to see the return of the true singer, as you were saying earlier with your phrasing and your syllables. I think we went through that whole genre where everything was blast beats and everything was technical guitar playing. But I think now we're starting to see that return to, a more trained vocalist over heavy music.
Hey man,
Yeah.
I like all kinds of stuff if
Yeah.
it's good. I love the new Lamb of God. I love
Yeah.
a lot of the other bands, Machine Head, and bands that
Mhm.
are progressive, bands that are pushing the limits of and trying to do something different. Like
Yes.
I said, a lot of bands, they'll stay in that safety net and they'll do pretty much the same record, 3 or 4 different
Mhm.
times. We want to make a statement. We want to do something that we love, that we really stand behind. We're not out trying to recreate the wheel. This is just killer piece of music that we are surrounded by the best people on the planet that are releasing this with Serafino
Yeah.
and French Records and everybody that was involved with this record and the making, the videos and everything, and all of the love. We've had over 100,000 hits total
Mhm.
on video plays and streaming and all kind of stuff on this record. So it's really refreshing and super cool to be back again and to be back again at this at this stature
Yeah.
and I think it's absolutely wonderful.
And now you're a Florida guy, and it's weird because for decades, Florida has always had a great metal scene. I mean, going back to bands like Sabotage, like your former band Crimson Glory, I mean, Alter Bridge, Circle to Circle, Under Oath. There's been so many. What is it about Florida, and specifically the Tampa area, it seems, that has just sustained this metal scene for decades now?
I guess in a sense, a lot of people want to try to move here. They want to try to soak up what we have here. Um, I don't know. I think it's just luck. Maybe it might be the sunshine, the way that it shines here in Florida. I don't know. I think we've just really been super lucky of all the the treasures that we've had here local. Of course, John Oliva and
Yeah.
Sabotage and
Mhm.
a number of other handfuls of people that this is the metal capital of the world, Tampa, Florida. So
Yeah, and for the most part, a lot of the bands from there do tend to stick together. I mean, yourself when you came into Crimson Glory, and then eventually Todd Latorre in that band. Doc Wackholtz was in there from Sabotage as well. You played with Jack Frost, who has the Sabotage connection. So, I mean, is it a friendly scene down there?
I guess it's a friendly scene as long as you get treated right
Yeah.
and you're getting paid and you're being happy. Being within a band sometimes, it's sweet and sour
Mhm.
about how things go sometimes. sometimes you're, the booger that sticks to the wall. Sometimes you're not. It's a rough business. I think that you're only as good as your next show. You're only as good as your next record. I truly believe that. At this particular time in my career, I'm just completely humbled, and I'm glad to still be out doing it, healthy, and within the company that I'm surrounded by right now, I can't go wrong.
And now getting back to Chalice of Sin, do you see this as sort of a project band that exists in the studio, or are you interested in putting together sort of a live lineup that can go out and hit the road?
Right. Alessandro and I have already spoken about this. We're in talks right now about signing with a huge production agency and management within Europe and stuff. This is by no means just a project.
Nice.
After we solidify this with everybody, we're able to start working, trying to get on some festivals and stuff coming up here for 2022, and we want to get back out. We want to work, what we love to do. So we're in talks right now with everything and finalizing some contracts and stuff, and making that announcement here soon.
And if you do get a chance to hit the road and play some festivals, will Alessandro be part of the live lineup of Chalice of Sin?
Absolutely. Nice. He's so dedicated in what he does. The guy is the sweetest person that you ever meet. Tells me all the time, there's anything that I can do for you, you let me know. There's been numerous things that I could cross off of my list that I wanted to do within my career, and like I said, I'm blessed, super blessed.
Well, we've been spending some time here with Wade Black. His new band is Chalice of Sin. The record is out everywhere June 18th. It is a great metal record. I've been listening to it quite a bit since I was able to get a copy of it. And again, if you like bands like Metal Church and Sabotage and just that, old school metal feel, you guys knock it out of the park. It's a great record, Wade.
Nice. What was your favorite song when you were listening to?
The title track, Chalice of Sin. I mean, it grabs you. I saw the video first, and that's what grabbed me, and then go back. Welcome to the Show was another one that really got me toward the end of the record. So that's the one thing I like too, is that it was strong all the way through. Usually you get records like that are front loaded and you kind of lose interest by the end. This one just, it kicks into high gear with Chalice of Sin and stays that way all the way through.
Nice. That's exactly what I'm shooting for, man. I'm glad that you get it. And we're hoping, we had such a good time recording this record and stuff. We put our heart and soul into it. And, we're, like I said, we're not recreating the wheel. This is just a piece of music that we really felt strongly about. You put the best musicians together in the world, you're not guaranteed a great record of what we've came up with here. And like I said, when you're surrounded by the people that I am right now and stuff, it's hard to put out anything that's not going to be, top shelf.
Well, again, the record's available everywhere June 18th. There's streaming. I think there's some physical copies and CD that'll also be available. Wade, thanks so much for taking the time. Hopefully we can catch you on tour sometime soon with the band, and look forward to it.
Absolutely. My pleasure, man. Thank you very much for your time, sir. I appreciate you.
Thank you. We'll talk again soon.
Hey, thank you. Stay metal, stay heavy.
Always. You got it.